All right, guys, we're back live again. So good afternoon, a pleasant good afternoon to good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Just want to give a shout out back to you that we're coming back again, with a better broadcast. We apologize for all the viewers that was tuning in, and but don't worry, we got everything under control. So welcome to another episode of Real Talk with Ian and Ian. We're so delighted to come to you today during a midday here in the East Coast in the United States. And we're just so delighted that we have our special guest. And today he's all the way in Northern Uganda. Many of you guys heard this name before. He is a two-time Olympian. He's an NCAA record holder. He's an NCAA champion. And he's doing even better things now, retired, moved back home, and he's just doing big things over in Uganda. He's bringing education. He's bringing so much other things that we're going to talk about. So before we start the talking, I'm Ian Weekly, and I'm going to hand you over to Ian Thomas, and Ian Thomas, the health and wellness specialist.
Yes, guys, we just want to say thank you guys for being with us, through the difficulties that we were having earlier. And we were able to work out some of the background issues. And here we are, very proud to bring you this afternoon. Actually, here in US, it's like almost in the midday region. And it's not our normal program that will come this time, but just to foster and cater for everyone, we will be ready and be willing to structure our program to fit whoever wish to come on here. As I said, to just empower, inspire, educate, and uplift somebody else. Once you're able to bring that, we will find a way to make it happen. That's with Ian and Ian on Real Talk. So this afternoon, we are so proud to bring you from way in Uganda, one of our African nations, no other than Julius Achon, a man who have been through it all. And Julius, we just want to say welcome to the program, Ian and Ian. Welcome. It's very pleased to have you here on the platform. Welcome.
Oh, thank you very much, and Ian and Thomas. Great to see you, Ian, and nice to meet you, Thomas. Oh, I'm calling from Uganda. My name is Julius Achon, and I want to thank every listener for today. As I talk, I want to highlight my career, how I made my way to United States, and how I made my life at the moment. I began as a runner, as a track athlete, track and field, 1988. But we had the civil war in Northern Uganda, which lasted for 21 years. And during the war, that's when I began athletics at the age of 11. And my parents were too poor, could not pay my school fee, which was about $10 semester. So a year, that would be almost $30. So I was told when I ran, good, and then they would give me a free education of scholarship. So that's when I made my way from my village. I competed 3 races without shoes. And then from there was no transport to come to the district carnival, which is national championship, 1989 at the age of 12. And I ran 40 miles, that's about 72 kilometers, in one day to come to the race without shoes. So when I made it at the district carnival, and I won again the next day 3 races. So I didn't race after running 42 miles away from my village, the district carnival. So when I made it, then I was brought for the national championship capital city, Kampala, about 200 miles away from my village. That's in 1991. Then in 1994, I represented Uganda in World Junior Athletic Championship in Lisbon, in Portugal. That's when I borrowed the running shoes of the Kenya. I won the gold medal and I ran personal best 12 seconds faster than running without shoes or running bare feet. And in 1996, I was given a scholarship to come to George Mason University in Virginia. That's when in May, I ran the NCAA record in 800 meter, 144.55 seconds, which is stood for 21 years. Then that same year, 1996, I represented Uganda in Olympics in Georgia and Atlanta. In the year 2000, I represented Uganda in Sydney Olympics, 1500 meter. So there was still war going on in Northern Uganda, and I could not come home. But when I made it back home, the year 2004, then I went back again to United States in Portland, Oregon. That's when Nike signed me a very little contract. I remember I was making $20,000 a year, which was very difficult to live in that money. And I began supporting my family and other children. And then I began Achon Uganda Children Fund. That's when I began building a health center in the memory of my mom called Christina Health Center in my village. And that was the old health center which we have. The nearest was 42 miles away. So whoever wants to go to health center would walk 42 miles, which is 72 kilometers away. So in 2012, we opened a health center, began treating patients and delivering babies when mothers are giving birth. As I talk now, the health center has been upgraded to Health Center 3. Many patients are coming, but we still need more donations from any person who is willing to support, which malaria testing costs only $1. Then to treat malaria, it takes about between 5 to 10 US dollars. And still there are very many sicknesses which are still going on in Uganda. And it's a big challenge. Health is one of the major things. Education is one of the things which I have the vision. Hopefully one time I will build a trade school, which many kids, the dropout student, would go and do the handwork like mechanics, carpenters, buildings, agriculture, etc., etc.
All right. Thanks, Julius. Thanks for that great introduction for all this stuff. Just a really snapshot. We're going to get into a little bit more details in some of the areas that you have succeeded. So we're just going to start from you, Joe. We just want to know about Julius Achon. Just tell us, we know that, you've been running ever since you was born, but just tell us a little bit in details, what was the moment like when you was selected to represent Uganda? What were you thinking? I know that you haven't been wearing shoes. You've been running like bare feet for most of your life, and then you got selected to go to travel to Lisbon, Portugal, and this was the first time you actually been on an airplane. This was the first time you're wearing shoes. What was that like? How nerve-wracking was that going to be? I know you was like I know the first time is always difficult. You probably was like, man, I might just need to run without shoes. But what was that like just to be able to put a pair of shoes on and run, and then to realize that you became number one at just bring us back, just bring us back to that experience and just tell us what did that mean to you.
Well, each time while I was competing in the United States, number one, first I was afraid not to lose my scholarship. And wherever I'm competing, I will not think about anything. I just make sure, I want to do the best I can. And I got motivated from other athletes when I hear them or when I see them running greater and greater. But the main thing I wanted to run and achieve my education, because when I left my village, there was no one who has ever graduated from the college, and I wanted to do something. Then when I reached in the United States, completely it was a different part of the world which I never seen, because leaving Africa where I grew up from, there was no electricity, there was no clean water, there was no health center. The school you go 10 miles and then you go to school. And this was like a dream which came through when I made it to United States, and I wanted to do something back to Uganda after
Awesome.
my retirement. And I do some runs still up to date at the age of 44 to raise funds. When I go to United States, when I go to Australia, a charitable run, which is a part of my life. And I feel I used to run for myself, but now I'm running to save other lives of people.
Yeah. That's awesome, Julius. That's just gonna be inspiration and inspireful for me and for a lot of people that's watching this broadcast, knowing that you run to save your life, and then now you're running to save others' life. That's just such an
Yes.
awesome thing that you're doing, for that. So, I want to talk about in 2003, when you went back to Uganda. You was in the United States. You graduated from college, but you're listening to your calling, and you decided that it was actually in October of 2003. We're in October right now of 2020. Tell us
Well,
how.
yeah, when I returned back in 2003, then I began taking care of the kids. Then Nike in Oregon called me back in 2004 to go and train with the Nike team. They would give me some little money. I remember I would get $1,600 a month, which was still very little, because I remember I was staying together with my wife, and I would send $100 back home, Uganda, to feed the family. And the kids, as I was supporting them now, they graduated from high school. And some of them are working in the health center. We opened ago. And in 2016, my community, they elected me to become a member of parliament, which is more like being a senator in the United States, which I've served 5 years. And what I brought during my time in parliament, I brought the first electricity, brought the power in my village now. And the high school is also open another high school in my village. Then we have additional health center between our community, which is about 20 miles apart, which it has made a huge impact since I joined politics in Uganda from 2016.
Awesome. All right, Ian, over to you, Ian.
Okay, Sir Julius, I just
Yes.
want to say thank you, man, for returning home. And I just let this question be pretty short. What drive you to open the first healthcare center there, the first clinic? What drive you to do that?
Come again?
What was your passion to start the healthcare center? Why did you start that healthcare center?
Well, mostly, like, what drive me most, I think, I had the passion or the love for people, because when I left Uganda, the United States, it was completely different life, as I explained, and I always wanted to do something should change the community, should change my people, and everyone must learn and to know that there's a difference in other parts of the world.
Okay, thank you. Okay, and your transition coming into America from Uganda, the lifestyle is totally different, and the culture. How much of a shock was it, the cultural shock coming into the USA?
Or in 2012, I wanted to leave United States so that I can return back to Uganda to make a difference for my community. And I decided to move back with my wife and the children. Right now, I got 3 children, 9 years old boy, 5 years old boy, and 3 years old girl. And came back just because I wanted to make a difference, teach my community, bring or to have the charity run and expand bigger and bigger.
Well done, well done. Back to you, Ian.
All right, Julius. So just want to talk a little bit. I know I've asked you before about being a world junior champion. I wanted to find out, and that was in 1994. Just tell us what was the experience like traveling to Lisbon, Portugal to run. How did you feel? Did you think that you would have become victorious? What was that like, just seeing all these people from all over the world, just you to compete? Were you a bit nervous and scared? I was just waiting for Julius to come back in. Probably have a little technical difficulty. Pretty sure he's going to come back in. Just was wanted to talk about just Julius, just for the fans that's listen. I'm going to talk a little bit about Julius until he comes back. Julius was a world junior champion in 2004. That was the first time Julius was actually traveling outside of Uganda. That was the first time he's been in an airplane, and that was the first time that he wearing spikes. Julius is back now. I want him to tell us in his word, what was that like going to Lisbon, Portugal to run against, all the other African countries, United States, Jamaica. What was that like when you got that spikes? When did you actually put that spikes on, and what was that like?
Well, as I said earlier before, my first time to wear spikes when I reached in Lisbon, Portugal. It was a little bit funny because wherever I try to run in, I feel that momentum, like I would get tripped a little bit, because I would feel like it's a flat shoes. But when the gun goes off, then I began running. I felt I was very explosive, running faster and faster. And I ran 12 seconds faster than my personal best running without shoes. And meeting or flying to Portugal, being in a plane, was something which I never dreamt of because it was like a surprise for me to be in a plane. And when I flew to Portugal and then to United States, going to visit Jamaica during a spring break in 1997, I mean, it was completely a different part of the world each time. And when I met you guys, like the track team from Jamaica, from Bahamas, then we from Africa, it was the moment which I can never forget. But I always think about when I see a beautiful place, I'm like, how can I have this in my community in Northern Uganda? Because to see the roads, the hotels, the schools, everything was different. In fact, the funny part when I made it to the United States, I thought when people die, they would go to United States.
All right, Julius. Yeah, well, thanks for sharing that with us. Just being honest and upfront about what where your mind like way back then. So what I want you to share with us now is I got several things that I want to talk about. I'm just trying to keep in track. I know that you give us a lot of information that is always important to you. So we for me, what was the experience like after winning the World Junior and went and you go back home? How did you feel? How did your community, the people of Uganda, how did they welcome you back home?
Well, after winning the World Junior Championship in 1994, I returned back to Uganda. But in northern Uganda, where I grew up from, there was a war. But there was a little bit celebration. And then I went and met my mom in the village and my dad. And I remember the Uganda government gave me $500 to congratulate me for winning the medal. And I took this money home to my parents, and they were shocked to see such money, which $500 by then was a big deal in my village, because in my village there's no such a money which I've never had before. And my mom was not convinced. She thought I stole this money from somewhere which was stolen. I told her, I said, no, I was given as a prize money after winning the gold medal. And
Yeah. Well, we're glad that that money you actually just give it to to your parents. You didn't actually get that money. Just want to make that clear for all the viewers that Julius never get any money from anybody while he was in school. He just that money wasn't was passed on. So that's great. I just want to make that clear and straightforward. So that's awesome, Julius. So now tell us a little bit about your Olympic experience. I know that when you ran in the first Olympics in 1996, you was very young. Um, you was actually already in the U.S. Studying, and then you're going to the Olympics. What was that experience like in Atlanta? What did you learn from that Olympics? Yeah. Um, I'm not sure if Julius heard that question. He is, yeah, he was lost for a second. So I'm not sure if he heard that question. But guys, please bear with us today. In terms of Julius is, you know, is in Uganda right now, and he's doing his best to share his experience and his knowledge with you. So we'll just wait for him to come back. While yeah. Yeah, Ian, I don't think we're hearing you. I know you were saying something a few minutes ago. Your mic is muted, Ian.
Yeah, I was wondering if you're able to play that clip if it's possible.
Yes,
I
the
don't know.
clip is possible. We want to just highlight um, what Julius has done, and is continuing to do it. So we're going to share that video right now, and it's hit the play button.
No sound on it. All right, guys. I think today is just a day that we're facing a lot of challenges, but guess what? We're able to overcome all challenges that is put our way. That is just how life is. But it's just a pleasure that we're able to have somebody all the way from Uganda who is willing to come on this program here, Ian, to give of their time. And even though it's challenging, as you can see, it's challenging just to even get the signal to transmit and be on alive. But yet still Julius would have given us the time, and we really appreciate him for that, giving us the time to be here with Ian and Ian. As you can see, this program is not during the regular time that we normally broadcast. We're normally on Sundays 6 and 9 p.m. But here we were set up for 12 p.m., which is 12 midday, based on the time difference. We were just making ourselves available for this broadcast. And in the little that he shared, I can tell you, he had to overcome a lot of challenges to really make it, and then to go back home and to give to the people of Uganda. That tells you something about the man himself, his character, and that alone should encourage us to gain strength. As you hear in his early speech, he had to run for his education. Basically, nothing was easy. If it wasn't probably through his athletics ability, he would not be able to make it out of his community and would have been able to give back today. And that is the story of many people, who have gone to the Olympics. It was a long journey to get there. But, guess what? They took on the challenge because they had a goal and a heart to help others. Ian. So basically, that's part of his story that really inspired me. How much he had put in to just earn an education, so he'll be able to go back to his home country and help. Your views, Ian?
Yes, for me, it's definitely a pleasure. Just to I was a teammate of Julius at George Mason University, and
Hello. Yes.
just to see what Julius has done for himself. He have moved back home, and he have Julius could have literally stayed here in America if he wanted, but the life is not about just Julius. Julius wanted to. He did not forget his people. Where he came from, And so he made a sacrifice. He said, you know what? I brought my wife and kids here in the United States, but I want to bring, I'm going to bring them back home because I want to, I don't want to stay here and just live and knowing that I know people that's hungry, So Julius made one of the best decision, that he could. He said, you know what? He brought his wife, he brought his kids, he brought them back home, and he has starting to educate. He have started a foundation called Lord Have Mercy Foundation, and that foundation is up and running, and and that foundation I've done so much. He have talked about doing open up a medical center in the name of his mom, Christina, that to this day is providing a lot of health care to the people of Uganda. He also has a child. One of the things that his foundation is doing, he has a sponsorship for a child. That if someone would love to sponsor a child, they could do it to Achon, the Achon Foundation. So we just it's always great to see these type of stories, just to see to going back and to do the things that Julius are doing, and he could tell you all the way back that he have gone to the point where he have actually took in 11 orphan orphanage at his house, and that was something that touched him. He was just over there, and he was just went out for a run in the morning, and you know we see these things in the world that that touch our heart, and it was God that in Julius that said, Julius, if I could do something to help one child, that's going to be a blessing. So we're so inspired by Julius. We want to hear some more about what he's doing and what he planned to do, what his goal. He stated early on that his community appreciate him so much that they voted him to become the member of parliament. So that give him the opportunity to continue his work. In everything that he do. So Julius is back with us right now, and we're so happy that he was able to come back. So Julius, we're just gonna try to do a little bit more of this interview, and just to talk more about. I wanted to talk about your mother, Christina. Just tell us a little bit about your mom. What do you admire most from your mom? Just tell us a little bit about your mother. Why you have decided to name this health center from her, and what that means to you.
Well, during the war, everyone in my community, they were living in IDP, in a refugees camp, internal displaced person. And when I left, I didn't have much time with my mom to United States, and she died. I didn't see her. And when I returned back, I always, first thing I wanted to do something in the ownership or in the memory of my mom, and that's when with the health center called Christina, in the memory of her. And in 2004, when she died in a refugees camp during that war, it was something very painful for me, because I was in the United States and I was still running when I made the third Olympics in Athens, Greece. I decided not to compete anymore because I was so much in pain. Having the country going through war, my family being murdered, our neighbors all being slaughtered with the machetes. hundreds and thousands of people were killed. You see on the news, something that, made me, I gave up to compete at the international level, and I became a pessimist. That's when now her death, it has changed into a good things by having the community, having a health center. And many people used to die a lot from childbirth, from malaria, from typhoid. But I see since the health center being built, there are very few people who die now compared to before.
Excellent, excellent work, Julius. That's just awesome for you to do that. So, what I wanted to ask you, how difficult was it for you to build that? How did you get the support to build that health center? How did you obviously you know get to do that, knowing that did you build that out your own pocket? What type of support did you get to make that happen?
Well, first thing what happened when I returned back in 2007, I remember I had $5,000, and my dad wanted me to put a small room to begin buying or putting up things like painkiller. Now, when I went back to United States, then I found a gentleman who passed away 5 years ago by name Jim Fay. He came back with me here, then he donated $20,000. And that's when we began building the health center with the $20,000 gave. And then Nike, I remember Nike gave me the sample shoes to ship it to Uganda, about 2,000 pair of shoes. And I told them, I said, people in my village, they're dying. Nobody can put on the shoes. Can we sell it? And then we use the money to build a part of the health center. So they helped me sold these shoes out, and we made $37,000. And that's what built a 10 rooms health center. And that's when the beginning of the project of the charity began. Then the next, then a year later, I met this young Australian runner by name Alois Wellings. And she heard my story. She was touched. And she also donated $20,000. And that's what helped us to put up the staff quarters, which you had the 4 units would accommodate the staff, because the place is so remote. Without the staff quarter, we would not have any staff to work at the health center. Then
Awesome.
we were dying from starvation. There was no food in 2009, and we began agriculture by giving out each family. We give them 10 kilos of soya bean. That's about 20 pounds of soya for planting. And then we give them the plowing tools to work in the garden, which it costs $3 to buy those plowing tools, which we call it hoes, like HOE. So that's when everything began running for my community. Right now, we sponsor 20,000 women for those agriculture.
All right, awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, guys, I got on the screen right there that this is some of the Achon fund. There has a store. That if you like to support him, you could go to this website. And the Lord of Mercy Foundation. That all the proceed you see where it goes. There is one here with Julius, running the board, who runs. And so if anything you could do to support this Lord of Mercy Foundation, to to help Julius continue his proceeding, we'll definitely appreciate it for that. So that was the what we're gonna do. So yeah, over to you, Ian. Mike. Yeah.
Julius, you mentioned that in Uganda, you guys have to deal with malaria, and you said earlier it costs $1 for the testing and about $5 to $10 for treating this disease. Could you tell us some more about the diseases that you guys face there in Uganda? Tell us about the disease in Uganda that you have to face, that you're dealing with.
We lost the sound.
You hear me, Ian?
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
You hear me, Julius? Ask him about the disease there, Ian.
Hey, are you here? Are you able to hear us, Julius? Are you hearing to hear me?
Yeah, now I can hear.
Are you hearing me?
I can hear. Come on, Thomas.
Okay. You said it costs about $1 US for testing for malaria and 5 to 10 to treat the disease. Could you tell us some more about the diseases that you treat there with your clinic?
No, I can't hear him.
The disease in malaria that you're testing and treating. Go ahead, Ian.
Hey, Julius. Ian wants us to talk to you a little bit about the disease malaria that you're testing. Can you tell us how much is affect Uganda and how good the testing will do? How much of a testing that you have to do to prevent this disease? Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't reached that challenge there. Yeah, guys, but from what I heard,
Yes.
Could you tell us about the disease malaria and how you're helping?
Network, I can't hear. I think no sound in.
Yeah. Go ahead, Ian.
You're hearing me good though, Ian, right?
Yeah, I'm hearing it.
Yes, guys. So from what I got from Julius, he was telling us earlier about the disease malaria there in Uganda. And we know, this disease affect a lot of the African nation. And he was saying that it cost them basically about $1 US to test for the disease, 5 to 10 US dollars to treat the disease. So basically, every single one of us here could actually help in doing a test there and help to treat one patient, and that is something I wanted him to talk a little bit more about. But that just tell us where his heart is. His heart is really to help the people of his country, which I am very proud of him. That he's willing to sacrifice his own life by going back home, to be with his family. He told us though he lost his mother, you know, and he lost his mother also due to the fact that healthcare was hard to access there. And I think that's what drove him to actually open a clinic. His mother would have bled to death, basically not able to get to the health center. But with that, he had opened a clinic there that would have been now able to treat so many people. And he tell you how many people he's treating there through his clinic. And that's just giving back to the community. So, with just that $5 to $10 to treat malaria per patient, it would be good if we could all help in such a cause and help to give back in whatever way we can, because we can see how far that US dollar can go in Uganda. So I'm just really proud of you, Julius, for what you're doing in terms of having the people at heart. Proud of you as an Olympian and just as an athlete and a human at the same time. Good work.
Yeah, Julius is back. Are you hearing me now, Julius? Are you hearing me, Julius? You know, like we're still having difficulty hearing Julius. Are you hearing me, Julius? Yeah.
I think we just gotta close it out here. Continue, me and you. I think the best better feed. You know a little of his story, so I think you could just share more of his story. You being an Olympian, being able to spend time with him at George Mason. So you could tell us, being at John Mason, what it was like, especially for him, coming on with all the cultural shock I know that must have been for him there. And even for you, just going into George Mason, it's a whole new life. Going in and going as an athlete, have to do all the work because he wanted to maintain his education. Because as you heard, he ran for that education. He wanted that scholarship, which he did. But how challenging was it to balance that education and still be having to perform out there on the tracks?
Well, I know Julius. He came in. This is what makes Julius special because he was able to. I'm going to bring him in. He might not be able to hear, but he could. We still talk. Yeah, we what made Julius special was he probably one of the first athletes, our first person in his family to probably come to college in the United States. He's probably one of the first person to run in the Olympics, from his family. Are you hearing me, Julius? Yeah. So he's hearing us, but we're not able to hear him. Our, yeah, so just the fact that Julius was able to be the first in his family to get a degree in college. He'd been the first to been in the Olympics. He was the first to actually go back to his community. He set a good example for all the other runners that's going to come up in Uganda after him because he's the person that is leading the way for that. So we just so happy that Julius was able to raise the money to build this health center over in Uganda for Julius to be able to do that. He have saved so many lives, from mothers in childbirth, from people have to walk 10, 15 miles to go to a hospital. Everybody know what it's like to have a health access to healthcare, you know, and just to have access to healthcare in his community, that was something that all the members of the community gonna appreciate Julius for that. So so with the healthcare, he's also doing the agriculture. What he's doing in agriculture is also great. The projects that Julius are doing, he has a project called Sent for Seed, which he's also teaching the people, how to make a living, with just farming. So, Julius, continue to empower all the people of Northern Uganda. We know that from what Julius have achieved so far with this healthcare, I believe over 18,000 women, will receive a seed loan in 2020. We also believe that I also checked the data and see that over 700 babies was born safely. Um, Over 33,000 patients was treated at the health center, and also you know he also they have also have drilled wells for people that have clean water. So they have to date have made 22 wells, to provide access to clean water. And he also training. So it's so much. He's training women as group leaders. in those things. So I could tell you a little bit about the Sense for Seed projects. It's a microloan project running in northern Uganda. And we know that some of the most fertile land, in the world, is down in Africa, and Uganda got some very good land. So that just been through the war. Everybody lost everything. Which the project which started in 2010, the Sent for Seed project. So for that project to date to have reached over 17,000 people, it's awesome. Also, again, we all know how important it is to have access to clean water. So that's another project that Julius is doing, called the Well Worth It project, and all of this stuff is going through the foundation, Lord Love Mercy Foundation. Which started. We know how important it is to have clean water in northern Uganda. You got people walking anywhere from 5 to 10 kilometers, carrying water 3 times a day, and the water is not even clean. So it's well worth to seek to provide to the community access to safe and clean water. That's just a basic human right, thing. So we know that, and also to drill wells, to repair the well, and to maintain it. From his website, to drill and bore a hole in Uganda, it costs somewhere about 7,500 in Australian dollars, and so this is just some of the things that Julius his foundation have done. Love Mercy Foundation. You could Google that information, and it'll just tell you a lot more about this Love Mercy Foundation, that he has done. You know, we could, I'm inspired by his foundation, and just knowing that if anybody want to support this foundation that Julius is doing, you could go to his website, Love Mercy Foundation, and you could see some of the work that he have done with his project, and he's continued to do it. The project, he's doing maternity project, including, done. They also distribute loans, for all this is to target, especially the women, is to do all of that. So we just want to, if any way you could support and partner, with his foundation. He have, stated that on the Love Mercy Foundation that, a donation of $30, per month will fund, 12 cents for seed loan each year. A donation of $2,000 will, fund an entire clinic operation for 1 month. So these are some of the thing, and we just want to let you know that Julius also is a religious man. He has, they have partnership with churches. If you want to partner, with schools, individual, and corporation. So that's some of the highlights of the thing that foundation have done.
Yeah, and I really see that he's walking in his passion, his love for the people, and I really like the project that he's taking on. Health, in any country, health is very important. Your personal health and just the health for your fellow brother, that is important. And for him to be giving back in such a way to the healthcare industry, very proud of him. And just to see how he has grown it over the year, the amount of people that he's been helping. Then I see he's so passionate also about agriculture, and just like anything else, it's sowing the seed. And the Lord would have told you, even the parable, the sowing the seed. You know, for him to be given up to 20 pounds of soya bean planting, you know, that's a lot for a household. You know, that's a lot of seed. So you can think the amount of return if they care for it. You know, so planting, that's another big project that, you know, somebody probably want to join on board with him with that. I'm very passionate about agriculture, so I'll have to connect with him in terms of that project, how that is going, because people who been watching don't know, but I'm also an agriculturalist. That was my first passion, is agriculture. I actually did college for that 3-year program. You know, I work in various sectors in the agricultural sector. So that's also a passion of mine. And I believe in sowing seed. good seed, you know, will bring forth good fruit. And that is a good thing. Then you hear he talk about water, drilling well. There's a lot of things. You hear the slogan, water is a source for life. You know, you can't do without water. The plant can't do without water. So if you realize he is basically well organized, he is well evaluated in terms of what he's doing. You can see that he is not just an ordinary guy. And there you see the beautiful, probably one of his daughter right there. How you doing? You know, we know you can't hear baby, but you know, such a beautiful baby girl here. Yep, we love you over here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you know, and here again, now we're seeing another passionate side of him, man. Is his daughter right there in his hand, and a love for kids. You'll hear he talk about the orphanage. Had about 11 kids that he's taking care of. You know, that is something to go out and find somebody kid, and you take them home to really start caring for them. Open up our own orphanage. That tells you something about the man that he is. Again, Ian, you know, that is something that is deep. You know, most people don't even want to take up one child than to have basically close to a dozen to bring back home. I don't know how that will be, you know. Yeah, here we go. You know, I wish my little baby was beside me, could to wave to her. That's a cute little baby there over in Uganda. She's gonna be the next woman leader, Ian. You hear, he's empowering ladies, and that's another good thing that this gentleman is doing. You know, to empower lady, man, that's awesome. That's amazing. You know, the women of this world, they have so much value in that they're able to bring forth a child, you know. And as you can see, man, that baby girl there, we already know she is a smart little child. Yeah, there we go. Hey, hey, hey. Yeah, clap, clap, clap. Da, 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 tap, tap, tap. You know, look at that little pose, Ian. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's listening. She's like, yeah, I'm here with daddy. Let's see what daddy's going on with. You can't make no decision without me, daddy. I gotta
Yeah.
be in there.
Yeah.
You know, so she's such a beautiful little baby girl here, you know, over and over daddy. And that is daddy love. You know, you don't see that normally, yeah. You know, that's like me and my little baby just, you know, she wake up, she wanna find daddy. Where is daddy? Where is daddy? She's coming for daddy. You know, and you know, you can see daddy have such love for her. You know, she's all over daddy, man. Daddy's little girl. You know, Julius, I know, you know, you probably just be hearing, but we're proud of you, man. A proud father you are, you know, a proud human being. You're there for humanity, you know, the better good of the country. Because as you say, Ian, he did not have to go back to Uganda. He could have been right here in the USA living the American dream. But instead, he have decided to go back home. And you realize his upbringing was not easy. He will tell you it was such joy when he got his first spike. You know, he would have run his early days barefooted. You hear he had to travel how many miles just to compete. You know, that tell you the character and discipline and the resilience of a man that he is. You know, just amazing, man, when you listen to his story. We wish that the internet was much better, that he could tell the story himself. And
Yeah.
the people that are listening, this is the reason why we bring on people like Julius, somebody who can inspire. You know, it's not how you start sometimes, Ian, but it's your finish. You know, and you can see he has a powerful kick, but this is a record holder. You know, we listen to the time that he ran. You know, take a lot to do those time. Hold a record for 21 years. That's a long time to have a record standing. That tell you, this is a great man that we're talking to right here today, guys. So as you watch, man, we hope you share and your heart is in the same place where Julius' heart is to help somebody else. And as I said, he talk about malaria, only $1 for testing, $5 to $10 to treat that disease. So you could care for a patient from right here in the USA. Just join force with him, you know. So that's a lot he's doing here. And back to you, man. I'm proud of him.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, as I said, I was teammate for Julius. We have won the NCAA championship while we were at George Mason in 1996. And Julius, it was, still continued to be the record holder in 800, the 1500, the mile, and probably the 5K cross country, all of that stuff. It was just a privilege to be a teammate of Julius. That's one of my greatest college experience was to be able to have guys from Kenya, Uganda, um, you know, um, different part of the world just come together, and we all come together. We have a guy who was from Somalia, that was on the team. So that was one of the something that I always cherish. And it inspired me to get better myself, knowing that when I go to the track, I'm seeing guys that hard working, dedicated. Those are the type of people that I wanted to be around. So, Julius, I just want to let you know that you inspired me while I was in college. I look up to you. You was the leader for the team. When you go out there and you perform, it inspire us to say, look, we want to bring some points there too. When we are training and we know what Julius, as a world junior champion, and I'm a junior, and I'm seeing that, look, we got a junior champion here, and I start going to Mason in '95, and it was the best feeling. I feel like I'm with one of the greatest team ever. Just to be able to compete alongside Julius. So, I have watched Julius' career. As I said, I was in the Olympics in Australia with Julius. I was running for Jamaica. Julius was running for Uganda. And we know that. And Julius been to many other games. He have been to the Commonwealth Games. He have been to the World Championship. To date, as I said, I know he have inspired so many athletes. I seen last year where a Ugandan lady have won the 800 meter in Doha, Qatar. And I know that all of those, Julius was one of the first one to bring Uganda on the international map. So God bless that you, Julius, that you have opened the doors for many young ladies and young men, and you're still doing it today. You're actually doing it in person now. So we just, as I said, gonna support you in any way we can. This program, as I said, our goal is to empower and to share success story like yours. That we know that if you come across this program right now, we are here with two-time Olympian Julius Achon from Uganda. He have actually qualified for 3 Olympics, but he have made a decision on the third Olympics that he's not going to go because people in his country was dying and fighting, and it wouldn't look good for him. His heart would have been at home, so it wouldn't be good for him to go run. And knowing that people in his country, is fighting and hurting, so we know the type of sacrifice that Julius have made, and he's going to continue to do the work because the work is started, and he's not going to stop. As he stated that at 44 years old, he's still running right now. To save lives, for other kids. He's anything that he could do to continue to upbuild his country. So we also, as I said, knowing that he's a family man. He's there with his wife and kids, and he's been a role model, especially for all the people of Uganda, all the kids of Uganda, knowing that this guy that we saw on TV, now that he's back there in the community, and that's going to bring a lot of hope to those kids, young boys and girls. When they go on the internet, they're going to say, "Oh, Julius running the Olympics. I want to be like Julius one day." We saw, he's going to pretty much put those value in his kids. So we're just so pleased and honored, Julius, for everything that you have done. We would have hoped to hear from you more, but we know that just the fact that we could see you and you're present, that mean a lot to the viewers. Julius Achon, his heart is where his heart is. His heart is just like being an athlete. He's persistent because even with the technical difficulty, Julius right now he's going all the way through, and we applaud him for that. So, um, are you hearing me at all, Julius? Yeah. Are you hearing me at all, Julius?
I don't think he's Ian.
Okay, okay. I'm just checking. I didn't know if he's hearing me, or we're not hearing him, but he is there. So, yes, Julius. So, we will definitely um love to have you back on the program another time. We will. We definitely would love to um, you know, at some point, as the Lord lead you and things get together, we definitely love to have another talk with you. But we're happy for your time, and we're happy for him coming on today. And we just always grateful. Our platform, as I said, we have information about Julius written up on the program. So if you could go on the YouTube, and you could go on Facebook, you could go and read a lot more about um, what Julius have done, the Love Mercy Foundation, and all the projects that he can and support Julius Achong. So just gonna put it over to Ian to get in the final words in.
Well,
Um,
my final word is Ian that this man has a big heart. You know, he himself has been inspired, and he lived the rest of his life to inspire others, and that's the very reason we bring on people like him. We would have seen that he lost his mother, but instead of using that to basically knock him down, depression and all that stuff, could have just called it a day. You realize that it have inspired him to build a medical clinic in recognition and honor of his mother. That is big. So his mother name will live on. And he told us earlier how many people that clinic is able to serve, is also able to serve the OB, that's mothers of the community, also saving lives of kids, sowing seed, and all the other project, getting water to the community, just still going out there and running for a cause, you know, all of these things, man. I really feel his heart. I see where he's coming from, his journey, his life, man, being an inspiration to us. And we'll just say for all the viewers, just go and Google him, and we'll put in a few probably in the comment where you could also find extra resource that you could find him. But as you can see, he can't do it alone, and none of us can do this alone in this life. And that is the very reason why we have a platform like Ian and Ian, where we allow our viewers, most of all, to be encouraged, be inspired, be empowered with their story. but also we allow our guests to feel comfortable in sharing what they're doing. So if anyone is out there who wanna join force with them, and led to do so, can basically get in connection with them. Whether you wanna connect directly with them or you wanna connect with them through us. But this is what the platform allows us to do. It allows us to bring people together. It allows us to have people help one another. You know, it's helping one person at a time, you know, with whatever we can do. Some of us is because of our story, our journey, because of our talent, because of our gift. It done a lot that our gift will make room for us. And obviously, Julius' gift of running have made room not just for him, but for our entire country. Uganda, you know, is the community, the country where he's from. And he has gone back there doing so much, giving back, you know. He told you he was basically sponsored by Nike, and most of that money went right back into Uganda. He was given money from parliament or president there. He basically take that to his mother right there. So whatever he get, man, as a gift because of his talent, you realize he have returned it right back to the community. So that's a man, with a very good heart, a kind, giving personality, and I really appreciate him. I'm really happy to just be in company here, even though it's virtual and it's far away. But I can feel his energy. And then he mentioned that he's a man of God. You know, that again give him another power. You know, we say empower people. He's empowered, man, being a child of God. Really appreciate him, appreciate his walk, his journey, and just to be here with us. Look at him, how humble he is, even when he's not able to get across with the media based on the feed, but yet still he's still there sitting with us, listening, and we don't even know if he's hearing us, but he's there. That show you the nature of a man that he is. You know, he's not frustrated. He's just there, relaxed, comfortable, still here with us here on the platform. He could have just said, you know what, call this a day, and he's gone. But yet still look at the man, man. That's a man.
Yeah.
Respect. In Jamaica term would say respect and not fist. But we gotta give it up to you, man. Thumbs up, man. Respect.
Yeah.
All right, yeah.
I'm gonna try one more time to show this video. I'm gonna give it one more shot. Believe that it will come through this time now. Gonna gonna make it happen.
Amen, brother.
Yeah, gonna make it happen now. I believe that it's gonna come.
You know, as Ian searched there, you know, we just wanna say, you know, we're here with Julius Achon, two-time Olympian. Here we go.
When the Wellings family and I lose the runner, they found my dad and seated together with the children. They went back to the hotel, then they started crying. So I went visiting them. I found all crying. I said, "What's wrong?" So they said, "Julius, we feel so bad for you. What can we do to help you?" I said, what we need mostly to take this kid to school. And people were dying of hunger. Actually, 11 people died in this community because of famine. There was no food. There was nothing to plant. And they said, okay, let us go back to our roots where we start the project. That's how it began. Love Mercy has three programs. One, they built a medical health center. In my village. The reason why the medical health center began, I thought about my mother was shot. She lived 4 days, and there was no medical health center in my village. The nearest was about 42 miles. That's about 70 kilometers away. And then she died. And the hospital is named after my mother, Christa. The second program is Sense for Seeds. They help women or the community by giving them microloans for seeds. And then after at the end of the season harvesting, they would give back whatever they loan, and then they would keep the rest. By doing that, it has helped the family to take care of their children, giving them education. The kids are benefiting so much. The third program, child sponsorship, which they sponsor over 30 kids now. At the beginning, we began with the original 11 kids, which are found in 2003. They give them now sponsorship to their school. Most of these kids now, they're in high school, which they have learned so much and they appreciate it. My favorite thing about Love Mercy Foundation, it has brought my community together. It has reduced the orphanage or the street kids. People are no longer starving or dying from hunger. People are able to make money from selling their food crops that Love Mercy give. And also with the medical health center, so far the record is showing that we have treated over 17,000 people. Without what Love Mercy, I think many people in my community could have died. And I thank God for bringing me back to my community to look back and help in that way. The reason why I do this to show to other people that they can do it, that one humble person can make a difference. I used to run to save my life, but now I run to save the life of others.
Yes, man, that's touching.
Yeah, yeah. That's really touching. I'm glad that I was able to pull this thing out. You know, yeah, I'm glad I was able to pull this thing out. I'm actually,
Listen,
yeah, yeah. I'm gonna
yeah,
try to share one more since you
there
didn't
is,
hear from him as much. Yeah. Yeah. All right, guys. All right. Yeah, Ian. So we're gonna yeah, there was one more video that I wanted to show, but it's not working for me.
it's a day of technical difficulty,
Day.
man, but we're good enough. we're able to hear from him a little.
Yeah.
I think it's just the courage and faith that he came on here.
Now for the story of a soldier inside a nation. Julius Achon spent some of his youth in the notorious Lord's Resistance Army in Uganda, but he overcame that to become an Olympic champion.
Well, he's now returned to Uganda to set up a foundation for children orphaned by the war. And he's doing it with the help of an Australian Olympian. Alexandra Fisher has the story.
Julius just floats across the finish line.
Julius Achon was born to run, but it just just 12, he was on the line of Uganda's bloody civil war, fighting for the Lord's Resistance Army.
We all forced to go in the bush and fight child soldiers, and we had to go. That's the only choice, because if you don't go, they would kill you.
After 3 months, a government plane attacked the rebels' camp. Julius and other child captives escaped, but not all of them made it home.
The plane was mistaken as to be the rebels, and 9 of my friends, they were all shot dead, and 6 of us made it home.
But his prospects were bleak. His family could scarcely afford to eat, let alone send Julius to school. His own competitively.
Because when you run good, you get free education.
Not only did he get free education, he was selected as the only Ugandan to represent the country at the World Junior Championships in 1994.
That's I remember first time I wore shoes and I flew by plane and I won the gold medal for Uganda. That's what changed everything.
He was offered scholarships from a number of US colleges. He chose George Mason University.
When I began my school, I couldn't afford the $5 school fees, which is $15 a year. But now I was in the United States with a $30,000 a year tuition fee scholarship. I just saw that God had a favor in me, really, because I could have been dead.
Racing his national college title, Julius proved his talent again and again. In 1996, he won the 800 metres and the 1500 metres, setting new US college records, which still stand today. He went on to represent Uganda in the 1996 Atlanta Olympics and 2000 Olympics, making it to the semi-finals in the 1500 times. But he was haunted by his home life. Julius dropped out of George Mason University and flew back to Uganda. He found his parents alive, but he stumbled upon something he couldn't run away from.
When I was running one time in my village, in town, then I saw these 11 of them laying under the bus. I thought they were dead body. But one of them got up and asked me for money. I said, I do not have money. Where are your parents? He said, their parents being shot. And I said, can I walk you to my home? Then I walked them where my mom and dad were staying in the refugees camp. And I told my parents, I said, take care of this kid when I go back to the United States. I will be sending money for food. And they accepted.
Julius returned to the US and began work as a pacer to elite runners at Nike. He continued to train and qualified for the 2004 Athens Olympics, but he never got there.
And later on, I received the message that my mom was shot and they needed something for the surgery to remove the bullets. They needed $1,500 and I didn't know anybody and I was receiving $1,500 well fixed in USA. was very tough. And then she bled 4 days, and then she died. And so my frustration, the stress, kept going deeper and deeper. Yet I had these 11 orphans, but I didn't give up on them.
Julius struggled to financially support the orphans, but found an unlikely alliance with Australian Olympian Eloise Wellings. She says hearing Julius's story gave her perspective.
Julius's motto in life is to never give up. And I think, I've kind of adopted that as well, like in my running career, because, I was measured for 3 Olympic uniforms and, just injured each time, and then just went through so many ups and downs in my running career. But every time I thought of Julius's story and his, how he got through so much more than, what I was going through, it gave me strength.
In 2009, Eloise travelled to Northern Uganda with her husband to meet the orphans.
We came back to Australia and we just thought that there was something that we could do, that we should start something in Australia so that at the very least, we could get the orphans sponsored by individual Australian families to take the pressure off Julius. And we started the Love Mercy Foundation. That was our original goal, just to get all of those kids sponsored by Australian families, and that happened within the first week.
This year, the Love Mercy Foundation and its sister foundation in the US established a medical clinic in northern Uganda to help the war-torn region a dire health system.
He shared that he wanted to
If there was a medical clinic, maybe my mom could have survived.
Julius Achon escaped northern Uganda with a dream of a better life. But in years spent racing forward, he never stopped looking back.
There's this general comment that I've heard so many times when we've been in Uganda. People will come up to Julius and say, "Thank you for coming back for us."
He deserves a medal.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so guys, thank you for tuning in. Nevertheless, we was able to get this program on, and we pray and trust that it might touch someone, anyone that in any way. We know with these program, all it takes is 1 second for one word to touch someone. It's not about how long the program is and what happened during the program. It's about how one message could inspire one person. One word could inspire one person. One seed could sow and it could grow. So we gonna still thank God, and we thank all the viewers, and we thank everyone that will be watching this program to just to remember that our testimony, our journey, for everything that we have been through, that is for us to continue to share the good news, and not to keep everything to ourselves, because just like how we was inspired by someone we could inspire someone, so on behalf of, again, I said, with Real Talk with Ian and Ian, it was a pleasure to have Julius Achon, two-time Olympian, on the program, and just for someone that have packed his bag up and moved back to northern Uganda to fight for his people and to help to build his people up. We want to give him a medal of honor, and just to encourage him also, because it's not easy. So we definitely inspired, and we want to let Julius know, feel appreciated for what he have done, that it's not in vain. That that we love for him to keep up the good work. And yeah, so as a said, as a former friend and a teammate, I want to send my God richest blessing to Julius Achon and everybody that has helped him and continue to help him to bless their heart. That's yeah, from me, Ian Weekly, the Olympian, and not sure if Ian Thomas have anything else you'd like to share.
That's it. We just ask that you bless the program that he supports, and we just want to say thank you again to our fans, our viewers who've been watching and following us. It may not have been the smoothest of an interview, but it's nothing to do with that. It's all about the heart that matters. So thank you guys for watching, and thank you guys for sharing. Continue to let the words travel. By you just pressing one button and share, it may just encourage somebody else or have somebody else help him if you are not able to. So we just ask to watch and share, continue to follow as we continue to bring you guys people who will empower, inspire, educate, motivate, uplift you, encourage you. Who to tell the place where you'll be tomorrow. Sometimes we find ourselves in the downness of moment, but sometimes just one word from a friend or just from someone who is able to encourage us and touch our heart, our mind, touch our soul. That one word could make a difference. So thank you guys. Love you all. Peace out.
All right.